Hello, my name is Valor. I'm going to talk to you about how to use regular expressions to define a range of hosts inside of xCAT. So I want to show you, this is my management server, and I currently don't have any nodes installed on there right now. So I do node ls, and there's nothing there. So I'm going to create a range of nodes to do this, and so my range is going to be VM001. So node add VM001 through VM, and let's do 200. In fact, I think we're going to make it a little bit more different. We're going to do 300 through 400. Let's suppose the 300 range, the 1 through 300 have already been allocated somewhere else. For xCAT, when you define a node like this, you need to give it a group name, and so I just add mine to a standard VMs group, and that's what it looks like. And so now I do node ls, and you can see they're all there. And what I might do is I might decide that, I want to add another group to those. So I'm going to say let's make them all part of a KVM group because they're part of a KVM virtual machines. So that will append the KVM group names to all of them. If you look inside a tab, if you do a tab edit of node list, you can see this now. So there they are. They're part of the KVM and the VMS group. Now we need IP addresses for these nodes because we need to define them in etc host so that we can do a make hosts and a make DNS. And to do that, we use the host table. So I do tab edit hosts. And here's where we're going to be using the regular expression. The first thing we do is we add the group name, which is VMS. And then for the IP address, we're going to add the regular expression. And the regular expression is basically a substitution expression where we have 3 bars. This first bar right here, whatever is in here is going to be taken and regular expressionized. And then right here is where we're going to be doing the substitution and get an IP address out of this. So what we do is we say, since all of our nodes start with VM, we can either write VM here, or to be more generic, we can just do a D+. This means anything that's not a number, we're going to put in here. So now I want to capture the number because that's what I'm interested in. So this will capture all numbers. And I think this syntax right here will satisfy what it is that our nodes are named as right now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in 172.24.5. This is my own homegrown syntax, or my homegrown IP address. And I'll say notice that this /d+ is enclosed in a parenthesis. That means capture this. And when it's captured, it's put inside this number 1 variable. And so if this is node VM, if this is VM01, then it's going to go right here. 2 will go right here as well. But because there's the 00 in front of it, what we can do is I tend to put a 0 and I add to it. Now you remember what happened though is that our nodes start with 300, and so we're going to have to do something different to them to make them work. So what I do is I first take all of them, I just start at 300 and I minus it. So that means node 300 is going to have IP address 172.24.5.0, right? Because it's VM00300 minus 300, so it's 0. So then after that, I'll add a 1 to it. So this is a kind of cool way to normalize it. Now when I do that, let's see what happens. If I do node ls VMS host.ip, you'll see that I have some negative numbers going in there because I think I've done something wrong here, haven't I? So let me try again and see what I did wrong. So let's first clear this and let's see if we can troubleshoot this. So node ls VM 300 host.ip. This first one looks right, doesn't it? The second one looks wrong. So here is where we seem to have gone astray. So let's take a look and see what happened, why it is that 301 went to 0. And I come in here and it's 300 minus 1. Well, I have this opposite. See, it should be minus 300. And now if I have 300 minus 300, I get 0 plus 1 301 minus 1 plus 2. So I think this is where I went astray and that I did that wrong. But it's pretty easy to troubleshoot. And now if I look at it again, now it's where I want it to be, right? Because now VM00 is there, and if I do all the rest of them, then I have all their IP addresses defined exactly how I want them. Now you may want to change this around because you may want to start with an offset of 1 as opposed to 0, which is fine. You can do it however it is you need to. The cool thing now is that we may need to add it to etc hosts, because remember, cat etc hosts, we don't have any of our nodes defined there, so we want to add them there so we can do our make DNS and our make DHCP and all that good stuff. So this is really cool because you just do make hosts and then you give it the node range, VMS. Now look at this. It's all set up for you. Your etc host is all changed and you're all ready to go and define your cluster. So this is the first start in adding your nodes. And you see how easy it is because it really only took two commands and one cool syntax that we added in the table. And so far the only tab edit you've done was the make host. So this really shows the power in xCAT and how easy it is to actually define your cluster, and I hope that helps you in some way.